Hello, Mark. How are you doing? I'm personally very tired.
I'm a bit tired as well. It's midnight here. Went for a long run today. Well, not long, but went for a run. It's been a
Oh,
week, so
nice. So it's
um,
just 9 a.m. here, but I was up working on Slider till about 2 a.m. last night. So
ah,
yeah.
so I just reviewed our goals before getting on the phone,
Mm.
and last time you said you were going to try to get the like everything unlockable, so you could like use the keys and unlock the areas. How's it
Yes, I
going?
did that. I did that. I did
Nice.
that and a bit more. So basically, and it's quite sort of fastidious coding. It's really interesting coding a game versus coding a SaaS app. Um, because a game kind of has infinite possibilities and a SaaS app
Yeah.
has kind of a direction. So there's there's a lot of weird edge cases, with a game that you just never thought you'd never thought you'd say, like, if they jump into Zorg's goatee, they can get 1,000 sun. It's
Nice.
weird stuff like that.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, so you start the game off. I haven't got it pointing you to the first track, but I have got the keys done. So it says at the bottom of the track "win" with a little key symbol of
Hmm.
the blue key card. Then you go up the track, and then the key is hovering above the final target. Then you go onto the target. Then the key disappears and then goes into your tool belt, which is at the bottom of the screen. So now you have the key in your tool belt, and so then you can go and look around for the force field that says where there's a robot with a screen with the blue key on it. So in other words, you need that blue key to open the force field. So
Yeah.
then you press your inventory. The key, he holds the key and it makes a kind of whooshing sound like that. And then he touches the screen, and then the robot takes the key and it's like
So is any of that new? Like were any of those things unplanned? Because I saw the force fields before, how you needed to complete one area and get a key, and then you can go to the next area.
Mm.
But like the interaction with the robot, was that a new idea?
No, it was planned. It's just that it's done now and it works. So it goes the whole way through, and then you know how there's this final challenge tower at the very end.
Hmm.
So I did a little trick where I have like a big force field at the bottom of that. So you have to get the key to unlock that, and then you jump up to this challenge tower and you see the beginning, which is the beginning of the final challenge, which is like the grand challenge. And there's a big portal, but you're looking through a door that now says 6 orbs required. So you sort
Uh,
of it's like a bait and switch. It's like a sort of fake up. So you think you've unlocked it, but now it's like, oh no, you've got to go around all the tracks again and grab an orb from each track.
oh yeah, yeah, it's a good idea.
and and then slightly changing the track and making it harder to get the orb from each track. So that's just where I'm working right now, is plugging in the orbs.
Very cool. Yeah. So my main goal did not go as well. It
Sorry, yeah.
was it was to make 4 videos,
Uh-oh.
and I didn't publish any. I got really bogged down in basically in the ideation stage. Like I came up with what I thought would be a lot of good video idea. Like I have a list of almost 20 video ideas now. And I also thought of like what things I could draw for them specifically that would make the video more interesting.
Oh, about drawing, yeah.
Um, yeah, because I think just switching up the lesson a little bit. So instead of it just being me talking and coding continuously, there'll be a few diagrams and partially to aid comprehension for some stuff, but also largely to make it more interesting. Um, so I came up with a bunch of ideas, but then I realized like, oh, this is actually like more work than I thought it would be to make this video.
Mm.
And I was about to do like a kind of like an easier one where I'm just talking about something, but then I thought of a bunch of drawings for it too. It's gonna. I've been thinking about the one that I was getting ready to record tonight, but I didn't have enough time to do was like the problem or the mistake a lot of people make when they're looking for their first programming job, or when they're deciding like what tech stack do I want to go into.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because I've got a fair number of acquaintances in Taiwan that are like foreigners that are teaching English or something, and they kind of, they're like looking at programming, thinking maybe they should get into it. And it seems like everyone is super obsessed with uh, the supply of jobs,
Yeah.
or I should say, yeah, the supply of jobs, but they're not thinking about the supply of programmers. So it's like there are, more jobs involving JavaScript than anything else. Therefore, I should do free code camp and become a front end developer. But the market, at least from what I can tell online, I think the market is really flooded with people that did exactly that right now.
Hmm.
And there's some
Interesting.
other things like I think like an Android mobile dev would actually have an easier time breaking in, because uh, the market for Android has been growing very fast, like faster than iOS, faster than the web, and there aren't a ton of people flooding into it.
But isn't that where you should say, and by the way, Elixir is a really good. That's where you should.
Yeah, well, Elixir is kind of starting to flip, because before, like say 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was a huge advantage for the entrepreneur, because there weren't that many positions available, but there were a comparatively larger number of early adopter developers who got into it, like the technology, thought, wow, this is amazing. I would take like a 20% pay cut if I could write this instead of Java, or something like that. But now it's kind of flipped. Like now I think there a lot of those startups have grown over the last
Mm.
2-3 years, and now they need more developers, and all those early adopters already moved to Elixir.
That's that. Yeah. So exactly. So that this is a great opportunity for you to build that market and get people to learn Elixir from you and level up their skills.
I
Sweet.
don't I don't think I'm gonna build the market. Like I really think that's gonna come down to the major contributors in it.
Right.
Unless I build a company and I'm hiring people, right? Like if I like knock it out of the park with some business that's built on Elixir, then yeah, that'll grow it.
But I mean, isn't that maybe I'm being pedantic? But if you convert one person, didn't you just build the market?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm having a minuscule positive effect for sure.
Right.
Like I've made a lot of free tutorials that make that lowers the barrier for entry a little bit. I have I'm sure influenced a few people just by being active on Indie Hackers, but a YouTube channel with 3,200 subscribers is not going to move a market.
Hmm. Yeah.
It would actually, I'd have a much bigger effect if I had like a big YouTube channel where I was teaching JavaScript, and then I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Let's check out Elixir.
Talking about YouTube, is it all right if I?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Talking about YouTube, we were. I was, I guess, talking on the forum, and I saw this guy called Planet Dad on the.
I don't know that one.
No, yeah, it's just his random username. I think he was called Planet Dad on the Roblox forum, and I reached out and said, "Hey, hi," from one Roblox dad developer to another. Anyway, we ended up talking, and turns out that this guy is from Planet Milo, a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers, and himself and his son do YouTubing Roblox games together, and he's building a Roblox game.
Oh,
And so I don't know, it was kind of like a whirlwind locked surface area type of thing. But within a couple of hours, there was like 20 kids playing Slider.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
And, Milo was playing it, his son.
His son.
Yeah. And so, and Jack was on the line playing it. And so it was just like crazy with all that. Just so, really getting to see what the kids
Hmm.
thought of it. And they were just having such a ball. I mean, they completed the whole thing in like 20 minutes. But
Whoa.
They were having a ball, but there was no locks, there was no locking on it.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
they sort of just skipped through tracks and just went to the hardest track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but we've tested it. Just one sec. It was really cool to have um, like a professional YouTuber, playing the game and make that
Yeah.
connection. And and also he knows a lot. Like Milo's dad, obviously knows a lot about Roblox, so it's great
Hmm.
to talk to someone who really understands the marketplace and the life cycle of games and stuff like that. And I think you might be right about some of those games, like Disaster Survival. It was like one of the first games on there, and that's
The
kind of
ones
the
that,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
reason why it hangs around.
yeah. I got that impression because if something looks less polished than the other ones around it, and it's still gigantic, it's usually because it got in early.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
So has he made a lot of games before, or just like one or
well, he
two?
hasn't released any yet. He's built.
Oh.
He's sort of he's self-coding. He's an interesting guy. He's the kid of a couple of San Francisco coders,
Hmm.
and he himself is about my age. So you can see that he's sort of lived his whole life as a kid. This dad, Planet Milo's dad. So he is a giant kid. He's a grown
Oh,
up. He's a man child, and then he has a kid who's a kid, and then they both absolutely love playing games together.
nice.
But he's sort of been doing bits and pieces of hobby coding over the years, um, but has recently started just really actually coding, and he's tried to build like 5 different games, and then sort of thinks of a new one, and they're very manga focused. It's all about manga.
That must have been like some rebellious streak to not have become a coder until 50. Growing up in San Francisco with two programmers for parents.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that blows my mind.
yeah. So
Um,
and I guess he just he was a gamer. He's been a
yeah,
gamer his whole life, So so he's now starting to code as a gamer, which is kind of cool.
that's cool.
Roblox is IPOing, which is also interesting.
They're IPOing. I didn't know anything about that.
And
What? How big is it probably going to be?
well, I did some calculations. So based off my calculations in 2020, they think that they're going to pay out. Their estimate is to pay out 250 million to developers like me.
Hmm.
So when you do the math and reverse engineer it, that means that they've made approximately 1.2 billion in revenue.
Okay,
Um,
because
so
of some commitment to pay out a certain percentage. Oh,
yeah,
just because it's always 30%.
it's like the percentage of the Roblox to the dollars gives me the total amount of Robux spent, and
Yeah,
then I can look at the Robux spent and see how much consumers paid for that. So,
right, right.
so consumers ended up paying 1.25 billion for the Robux this year.
Well, also, didn't you say that they pay 30% to the developer?
Uh, they pay. It's not 30%. It's I can't remember the exact percentage. But
Okay,
I think it might be. It might be. I think it works out at 0.0035 Robux to the dollar.
I mean, for whatever amount. So I mean,
That's
like
what I'm
if a
saying. Yeah.
consumer spends
Yeah.
$1, the developer who wrote the app gets how many cents?
But it's more complicated than that. So what actually the way that it works is if a consumer spends 100 Robux in your game,
Hmm.
Roblox keep 30% of that, so you will get 70 Robux. Then that is
Okay,
then that is stored in your account, and then you can convert those Robux to real dollars at a rate of $1 to 0.0035 Robux.
is the
Oh
conversion
wait,
rate
no, sorry, wait. One Robux is $0.0035.
is the conversion rate different when you're buying and selling them?
Yes, because if you're
Okay,
buying like massively, because if you're buying, it's approximately $5 to buy 400 Robux. So the
okay,
consumer pays $5 for 400.
okay.
But as a developer, for that same sale, you would get a maximum of $1.
Oh, okay. So the developers are making less than 20%.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
when all's said and done.
Okay. Okay. So
So,
the revenue's got to be at least 5 times what they're paying out to devs.
oh, they've made. I mean, they have cash to play. Their net is about 900 million for this year. So
Okay.
I don't know how big that company is, but a net of 900 million, that's that's good in my opinion. I mean, they say that the servers cost around 350 million a year. So they're doing, and then they've obviously got staff, you know.
Yeah. And game servers are also. I mean, I think I mentioned this on a previous show, but on Hacker News there was a discussion about like Amazon egress fees and like who's like building their own, and basically everyone building their own was doing game servers because
Yeah,
like you just can't afford the bandwidth,
yeah, yeah,
even without the rest of the hardware requirements.
yeah. Which is you know, so it's cool. It's an interesting little thing. It's a phenomenon, right? It's sort of
That
like a
is, yeah,
it's like a YouTube of games, really.
yeah, it's
Um,
cool. Um,
hmm.
let's see. So I had one other bit of progress on a goal I wanted to share.
Oh,
That
nice.
is,
Tell us.
I got the one-click deploy button done on Phoenix Igniter. So
Cool.
I got bogged down on making videos, but did something on Phoenix Igniter at least.
So remind us what that does, or remind me.
It will basically, you click the button, and if you have an account on that
Oh
host I
yeah,
mentioned
yeah, yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah.
Render, then just that one click and it's deployed.
Now, did you move that to? I mean, that's huge, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Phoenix.
I think some people are going to buy it just because of that.
Oh yeah. I mean, isn't that like on the front page, like headline, like one click deploy your product?
It's going to be once I update it.
Okay, nice, nice.
It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit awkward because right now the front page has a whole bunch of stuff about UI components that I have basically thrown away twice in midway through producing them.
Oh,
So I have nothing there, but I have a totally different thing that I wasn't promising.
that's okay.
So definitely, yeah,
That's
it
okay.
definitely
Switch
needs
it
an
up.
update.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think people will be happy about it. Only thing is maybe some people are gonna be like, well, I don't want to use render, and I'll just be like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to.
Hmm.
You can deploy it anywhere you want. Just here's a button if you want to do it easily.
Hmm.
Um,
Can you do one click deploys to other places?
Heroku has a way. I don't think you can with DigitalOcean. I mean, well, it would be possible. You'd have to like make an app because like DigitalOcean has their like app store. Although it's basically it's like a one click WordPress installer or one click
Yeah,
this
yeah.
installer that installer. I think the community can make those. Like it doesn't have to be from someone at DigitalOcean.
Have you told anyone about your one click deploy?
Just you.
Apart from on this show.
Yeah, just you.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
and no
like,
one's heard this yet, but before the show's published, people will have heard of it.
okay, that's pretty cool.
We're processing episode 27 as we speak. Or
So
YouTube's
still no intro
processing it.
yet. Still no intro yet.
I think,
It's
isn't this the one you wanted? Or no, you
28.
wanted
28
28.
is when
Okay.
it starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted the intro to start when we discuss it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, very soon. Very soon we'll have it.
cool. I haven't checked that. Was there any comments on any of the shows recently?
Not super recently. There were a couple shows ago. Liam commented,
Okay.
and I believe the last episode, which I published a bit late, doesn't have any comments.
Oh, don't give so much away for free. That has 3 comments. No comments on the multi-level marketing. Yeah, it's just some of them sort of just take. Well, usually it's just one person commenting anyway.
After someone comments, then then we answer, and then sometimes they reply again. Although I suspect last show may have some because of your competitor.
Who's my competitor?
My German buddy, who I met as a digital
Oh
nomad,
yeah.
the getting things done app guy.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Um,
he'll probably be like, I I gave up on this thing. I'm doing a totally different thing now.
um, so I have some news.
Yeah,
Um, Matteo pushed Heyhi to Product Hunt today.
I saw that. I clicked through the email and gave it an upvote.
Oh, thank you.
It's like 19 upvotes, I believe.
Oh yeah, he's got let's see, he's on 103 upvotes now.
Oh well,
So he's
good
officially on the
job.
front page. Yeah, officially on the front page, which is great. So yeah, he's had like already so the cool thing about it is that Heyhi itself, so what it is you put a widget on your website, and then as long as you while you make yourself available, someone can just click a button and then you are having a video chat just like we're doing right now instantly in their web page. Well, so he's had 10 calls today and they've been very good. But it's been interesting. It's been a very good tool for product development because like you're talking to someone in the product.
Hmm.
They hit the landing page, then you're talking to them and sort of seeing all the different possibilities about that.
And
It's kind of
Heyhi uses Heyhi, I assume.
Heyhi uses Heyhi, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll hear more on that. Obviously, it's only just the beginning of the day in the US, so he's got the rest of the US day for it to be on the front page.
Right. Is he in the U.S. or
He's
where?
Italian, yeah, Italy.
Oh, Italian. Yeah. Yeah. The like Product Hunt and Indie Hackers are both kind of a pain for those of us living in Asia.
I believe it, yeah.
Yeah. It's like I had a couple times I submitted like a milestone on Indie Hackers,
Hmm.
and then like 10 minutes later, like an hour later, it said it was yesterday. I was like, what? I just
I
ate
know.
lunch and now it's yesterday.
Yeah, you have to like do it at just the right time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So did you see any of the Apple presentation yesterday?
No, tell me about it.
I
Enlighten me.
didn't see it. I know there were lots of memes about all the cameras on the new iPhone.
Oh, like what?
I saw one meme that was like the phone. Actually, it's an older meme, but it got traction again. It was like the iPhone of 2029, and it was like it was the iPhone 20 or something,
I can
and
imagine.
it just had like 15 cameras on it on the back of it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really kept up too much. I have been thinking about some Apple related stuff though.
Yeah.
So remember a couple times ago you were like, "Hey, can you just show me the handwriting recognition with your Apple Pencil on the
Hmm.
Mac?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I can't do it. Just do it on the iPad." Well, it turns out there's a thing called Sidecar. Have you
Yeah.
heard of
Yeah.
that?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, I had not,
Yeah.
but there's a thing called Sidecar where you can either mirror your display. You can like use your iPad as a second monitor, or you can mirror a display, or you can use your Apple Pencil on the iPad within a Mac app. And so I was
Mm.
like, oh yeah, that's great. I want to do that, but I'm not allowed to. I had to upgrade to Catalina, and then turns out the only way you're allowed to do it is if you're signed into iCloud, which I haven't used at all on my Mac,
Yeah.
in both devices, and you have to have a phone number connected to iCloud. And I don't have a voice phone service. I'm like 100% on data.
Isn't there a way? Isn't there a way that you could set that all
Yes,
up?
yes, there is. I went through Apple support.
Okay.
No dice there,
Yeah.
but I went to GitHub and I found some code that can you basically you have to write your own app, and there's someone who's like basically done it, and then you back up your sidecar core, you self sign your own app, and then mess around with a bunch of stuff on your Mac, and you can make it so you can use Sidecar. This is kind of like Hackintoshy though, because you can enable Sidecar even on like pre-Catalina OSs, and you can make it work on like pre-iOS 14.
Wouldn't it be easier to just get the iCloud account and like borrow someone's phone?
Well, I thought about that. So I could like just temporarily get a phone number to use, but then if they're using that for second factor authentication, if I ever no longer had access to that phone number, which is like really likely because I had been traveling a lot and changing phone numbers a lot, and most of my friends are the same way, then I would lose access to everything, like the whole account, all the apps I've bought.
But you don't have to. You don't have to turn on two-factor authentication.
Yeah, you do. That's the whole thing. So right now, if I click on the Sidecar logo and click connect to my iPad, it says unable to connect to Mark's iPad. The iCloud account does not use two-factor authentication. Huh. And they have no other option for two-factor authentication except a phone number. Like you can't have like Authy or one of the other.
But couldn't you use like a family member's phone number?
I could, although once again, if I ever lost access to that or it changed, it would be a problem.
But why would it change? I mean, if it's a family member.
Well, okay. So my my grandmother, who I grew up with, who's like the family member I was closest to,
okay,
just moved into like a elderly care home, and her phone number changed.
Okay.
So it's like it's rolling the dice. Like I could do something, I'm sure, but I don't want to like risk my entire account. And I believe I can patch I believe I can patch Sidecar to make it possible.
Just searching for a get virtual phone number for SMS. Get a virtual phone number.
Yeah.
Just send SMS. Simple text.
On a meta level, I think the policy is horrible. Like it's a bad UX, but it's also like pretty bad security because SMS security isn't particularly strong. So I'm not really sure why Apple's forcing everyone down that particular path.
Oh, so you would definitely, just as a reference, you would definitely be able to buy a service like, I'm just looking at simpletexting.com, $25 a month for in and out.
Well, geez.
But to be honest, if you sign up with a Twilio account, you will get a couple of numbers that you can use forever.
Forever.
But as long as you maintain the account. I've used Twilio.
Do you have something like that? And you can use those for second factor authentication?
Well, basically, second factor authentication just means that it would receive a text, right?
Yeah, but I have a Google Voice number, and a lot of systems, including Apple, reject that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's specifically because they know that's like a voice over IP service.
Yeah, that might be something that Apple might know, because most people are there's only like five main backend providers of that. So Apple might just know all the numbers and just sort of go, nah.
Yeah, it's really no. And the other thing is my iPad is tethered to my computer. Like I have an iPad. Oh, this doesn't work with my my San Francisco background, but I have it connected via USB. So why is it necessary to even be logged in to iCloud to begin with? Like, they're connected by a cable. You should be able to communicate between the two.
Completely illogical.
And as far as like the security, like they're letting me buy apps for the iPad. So I don't feel like they're really protecting me. It's just being a pain.
Yeah, it is. But no, you're right. I agree with that.
But it's been an intriguing technical challenge.
So is that going to be a thing that you do now?
What? Just patch my OS?
Yeah, basically, recompile Mac OS.
Well, no, it's not that bad. This is
I
this
know,
is just patching Sidecar, but I've had some experience with Hackintosh. I've never built my own, but one of my old buddies did like
you
three
should
or four
put that
times.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the terms of service. Like I'm not sure if YouTube likes those videos.
Okay.
It's hard to say. But in other news, I part of why I haven't gotten as much done on my projects as I wanted is I've been just completely sucked into those no starch press books I bought.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I've now gone through about 600 pages of C++ books, and
Wow.
I've been going through this other one called The Secret Life of Programs, which is like it's kind of like Nan to Tetris ish kind of
Mhm.
book. So it starts at hardware and then like looks at OS and then like the application system interface. And it's not none of it's related to Alchemist Camp. I actually haven't even cracked open the Erlang one, which would be sort of related to what I do. But it's been yeah, it's just completely absorbing.
Wow. So you know a lot more about general knowledge about computers. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a better. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks I've had these books, but I feel like I'm getting a better handle on some systems related stuff than I had before. Because everything I did before was pretty high level web stuff.
Okay.
So it may come in useful somehow at some point, but it hasn't helped grow my YouTube channel at all.
Okay. Well,
Yep, that is that is the state. Um, I also saw something I hadn't looked at closely in a while that I found really interesting, or not super interesting, but interesting enough.
yeah.
And that is the NIST webpage, which is National Institute for Standards and Time.
Okay.
And I am sharing a screen. Can you see it?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. So look at these time zones. Like some of it, like sure, Colorado, Wyoming, California, Nevada, like that's all just right along the state lines.
Yeah.
But like look at Arizona. It's like it's mostly uh, daylight savings, and then like a
Yeah.
little patch that is, and then a surrounding circle that's not.
That's weird.
Meanwhile, like Oregon and Montana have kind of like trade time zones for a little bit of space near their respective borders.
Well, look, Arizona, yeah, Arizona Mountain Standard Time. So it's very specific.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's related to reservations. Like there's some tribal reservations around there, and also in Montana, I think. So this is why time zones have so many crazy edge cases.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even remotely go by the state.
No, no. That's weird.
Yeah.
So you'd have to so how would you even know? I mean, that's bizarre. Like how would your code know? Like it's gonna map it to a
I think that's why you have to use or you have to use UTC for everything.
yeah, jeez.
Like their computer will know. So like
Yeah.
if someone's in like the northeastern little bit of Indiana that for some weird reason is Central Time while the rest of it's Eastern Time, their computer will have like Central Time set.
Yeah, I know on Nugget I don't use UTC, which is a mistake.
Oh,
But yeah.
well, but does the time really matter much for Nugget?
The server uses UTC, but the code doesn't.
Okay.
Which is yeah. No, it doesn't matter. It's just I mean, the only thing it matters is like we were speaking about like a day rollover time. And so I've got the day
Right.
rollover as like 8 o'clock, Los
Yeah.
Angeles. Yeah.
I encountered a lot of headaches with this. like at Verbling and Groupon, because like Verbling was this online tutoring platform. So you'll have someone, in Chile making an appointment to tutor somebody else who's in
Yeah.
Colorado and teach them Spanish or something. So there were weird time zone issues from all over the world we had to deal with.
Yeah. I can believe it.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically you use the JavaScript. You get the time from the browser essentially, and then you map that to UTC, and then that's how you sort of know everything. That's how you know where they are.
Where they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't rely on, for example, the server. It has to be client driven, basically. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, the server knows when it's going to start the tutoring session or whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
But the user has to I guess if the user knows what their time zone is, or the user's computer knows what their time zone is, then you're okay.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. I just mean, just taking a step back, just technically speaking, to deal with time zones, the trick is always rely on the client. The server can't work out in any way what the time zone is. So the server just runs in UTC, and then the client JavaScript side of things, that knows what the local time is, and then you convert that to UTC, basically.
Yeah. And or actually I don't. This is one thing where I do use other people's libraries.
Okay.
Because there's so many edge cases.
Too many edge cases.
It's hopeless otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else going on over there for you?
Not so much. I was just looking through notes and stuff, and nothing super big springs to mind, to be perfectly honest.
I'm thinking since both of us are pretty tired, we could just do a shorter episode this time.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Cool.
That's no need to stretch it out just for the sake of it. So let's see. I have the same goal. I'm still gonna try to get 4 videos out, which is easy. Should be easier because I've got pieces of a whole bunch of videos ready, and I'm probably gonna keep on going through all those books because I can't help myself. So
do it, because you should follow your bliss.
Yeah, I think motivation is kind of a resource in a way. Like when I have the motivation, I should just go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And gotta write a few emails. Like I think it's been too long since I've emailed people in Alchemist Camp. I just gotta be like, hey, I still exist. I've made like a whole bunch of videos since last time I emailed you.
Cool. Okay.
And that's about it. So just make 4 videos, keep doing my thing, and then with the studying, and then make an email.
Okay. My goals are maybe just one goal. I've got the key challenges working and the unlocks and the bring down the force field. So next thing, I need to make the orb challenges work. And for that aspect, when they start the challenge, I need to add on an extra bit of the challenge at the end on the final little island to get them to climb up to the orb and then jump into the orb, and then they claim the orb. So then I get that. And then once they've got 6 of those, then I unlock the grand finale. And then I just have to build a final little piece on the end of the grand finale for them to win that tiny part at the end. I've got this idea of putting a slider sort of at an angle, like a very steep angle, and giving it a giant force so that when they step on it, it flings them like millions of miles into the air. and then the target that they have to hit to win the game is like on this huge like arc, and they have to like while they're in air like navigate. Okay, it's this tiny little thing that gradually comes towards them, and if they hit it, then they win the challenge. So that's and they win the big finale. And yeah, and then my dev has started working up the robot pets side of things.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a dev? I thought it was a designer.
He's a builder and a developer, but I mean, I'm mainly doing the coding, but he does do code, but he doesn't have the same 30 years coding experience, let's put it that way. But he gets stuff working. He's a great prototyper.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, to cut a long story short, to get the
The orb challenges.
orb challenges and final challenge working. That's it.
Still sounds like it could be a lot.
Yeah.
So is it still like pretty much on schedule for end of the month?
I think end of the month is looking good at the moment because the
Yeah.
only piece after that I need to do is to get Georgie to say 40 different lines and plug that and plug that into the game.
She's kind of like your voice actress for
Yeah.
all
She's
the
good.
projects. Yeah.
She's good, and people will hear her on episode 28. Well, we'll have already heard her.
Yes. Yes. All right. Well,
As
very
you-
soon that'll be out.
Yeah. All right, dude. Good one.
All
I'll
right.
see you next week.
See ya.